You want to talk rivals real quick? Sure. We're in the training range. This is like the place where we always go. I'll give you my full thoughts on this game. I think that this game is not the Overwatch killer. I think it's definitely competition in the same space though, for sure. I think that competition is good, just like in anything. Even in more recently, like streaming, right? Like, Kick became a competitor to Twitch, and it's like, even though I don't personally use Kick, and you know, a lot of other people don't for whatever various reasons, it does kind of create that competition and forces your competitor, Twitch, to like, step up their game and give you a better product. Because when there's a monopoly on something, they just don't care as much, right? There's no reason for them to care that much. Competition is good, competition healthy. Do I think this game is gonna overtake Overwatch? I think the only game that can overtake Overwatch is Overwatch. It'll just either thrive or it'll do it to itself. I don't think any game could take it down, but I don't think any game could boost it higher, right? Like, Overwatch is its own little world, and that's okay. Overwatch has to do its own good things for it to pop off. But for Rivals, it's actually done a lot of things that are good. Queue times are very quick, and a lot of that's because of the open queue format and being able to choose everything, which is nice. There's arguments being made, I think, already for roll queue versus non-roll queue. I think it's a little early, but I understand both sides. But if I'm completely honest, I was having a lot of fun in the alpha. I had a ton of fun in the alpha. Then the beta came out, and I played it for like 2 or 3 days for a long time, and then I got kind of bored. And I wasn't having that much fun anymore. And I was like, all right, this is okay. Like, it's, you know, it's nice, but it's a nice change of pace. But I wasn't having like a really good time after a few days. And I was kind of like, you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna like hardcore stream it for the next couple days. And then the update came with Thor and Jeff, and all of a sudden the game felt completely fresh again. And I was like, wow, I'm actually having a blast. And I played yesterday again for like, what, like 10 or so hours again? But the thing that's making it boring isn't the gameplay, it's the maps. There's only like, what, 3 maps? How many maps is there? I think it's 3. And playing the same 3 maps over and over and over just... And considering 4, okay, sorry, there's 4 maps. Playing the same 4 maps for hours and hours and hours and hours, and there's some issues. There's a lot of bugginess, especially if you play like Venom. You end up getting like stuck on random things, start like gliding across like random walls and dumb shit, right? It just gets boring. And it's one of those things you don't realize how good you have it in another game. Overwatch in this case with like lots of map variety, until you don't have it in front of you. Also, like some parts of the maps I'm not a big fan of. There's a map that's like kind of looks like Dorado 3rd. It's like fighting uphill though, and that map feels kind of ass on 3rd point. That 3rd point is really bad. I don't like it at all. So there's some small pain points that kind of are exasperated because you have to play on them so often. But overall though, I think the game's a lot of fun. The problems that they're encountering is the way that they went about letting people play this. They went with 2 things. One was, sorry, technically 3. You could, before the beta started, request access on Steam, and that's what I did. That's how I got in. I legitimately got lucky. I didn't have like some streamer backdoor and, oh, big streamer man, come in here. Oh, come in the side entrance. We'll let you in our game. No, I literally just applied on Steam and got in lucky. And then once you were in, there was 2 ways. One, a friend got to level 6 and then requested a code in-game while they were still available. Or 2, you threw Twitch drops. Now, the Twitch drops version is so cooked. Now, if you see above my head, there's a timer right now. This timer is for keys refreshing. And the reason it says keys refreshing is because they only give out a limited number of keys a day. But the drop is for everybody. So what happens? And currently at this exact moment, drops aren't on, but because they're doing a second wave, because the first wave went so terribly, the way it worked was once drops turned on, you have to watch for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour, you have your token. And then you have to, at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which for Europe is middle of the night, go on their website and redeem that token for a code. And there's a limited number of codes per day. So it's not guaranteed if you have the drop. And so it confuses people, right? Because they're like, I watched for an hour, why do I not have the drop? You do have the drop, but you don't have the code because you have to go to the website and redeem it. And then even better, a lot of them are all getting scraped by bots. And so Also, their website's crashed, and also their CAPTCHA system also doesn't work because it's kind of low-key busted. And so when people are completing the puzzle, you know, like you slide the little thing across and match the picture, it just bugs. And so I did it multiple times to eventually get one. But it wasn't working. And so a lot of people missed out on their codes. And so people have been confused because they end up coming in every night at 8 p.m. EST looking to get their codes, and then it's only a small number. And on the second day of the event, they were gone in like 1 minute. Why were they gone in 1 minute? Because the website crashed. Then once the website came back online, they were gone in less than 10 minutes. So you end up watching a Twitch stream all day long to get your drop, and then you have to wait until this time to redeem it, and then you don't even get a code. It's awful. What they should have done is the Valorant version, which is like, you could leave the stream on for 24 hours, and it's like, complete random chance, right? That way you can still, give a limited number of codes, because I think that's what they want to do. I don't think they want to flood the servers and, like, you know, make it shit the bed if they're not ready. Oh god, the Valorant version was awful. Oh, I'm not saying it was, like, the best version possible, you know what I mean? I know Valorant had its struggles. But I would say Valorant was a little bit better, as opposed to what the current one is. I'm ready for a Valorant stream. Like, I respectfully disagree. Oh, I remember how big of a shit show it was, but at least it was, like, random chance. And the reason I thought random chance is better than the current one is just because, like, it depends on where you live in the world. And, like, depending on where you live, you have a good chance of getting a key or not. In an ideal world, it shouldn't do anything. It should just be, like, you watch for an amount of time. And if they want to make it ridiculous, like, make it you have to watch for, like, 15 hours. Like, something that's, like, a really large requirement that most people are going to have to struggle to do. Or, like, just leaving their computer on for long amounts of time. That would probably be better. Or hell, just like do what Overwatch did and limit it to like 2 days, and then that's it. But even then, would still cause problems. Anyways, that's probably people's biggest gripe is they can't get into the game. The game itself, though, is pretty damn good. I think some of the characters probably need some tuning. Like Hella is like the Sojourn server admin. In the tank department, it's weird. Venom, I think, is by far the best tank. Penny's ult is legitimately the worst ult I've ever seen in almost any video game ever. It is actually it's like a lose button. Thor just got added, and I think Thor's a lot of fun. But the problem with Thor is, well, first off, I don't know why they have him as a 2-star difficulty hero. This is not a 2-star difficulty hero. You have to do so much to accomplish the same thing that like most other characters can, just like on average. It's really strange. And you say Hulk is worst tank. I think Hulk is low-key a skill check tank because I have played against some insane Hulks, and like in really high level play, the really good Hulks play Hulk Venom, and they just dive your backline, and your Hulk is basically a diva, and then all you do is you just like clap somebody, pop your shift, your shields to shield your Venom, and then you use your E on one of the two supports to like isolate them because it like freezes them for a second or two. And then you kill the other one, and then once their freeze is over, you go back to the other guy. So it's like, there's something to be said that some of the characters people wrote off in the beginning as like being F-tier shit characters are actually insanely good. And I'll give you another example, Black Panther. A lot of people when the game first came out, or just came out, thought Black Panther is really bad, and was like F-tier. But what it turns out is the character's actually a skill check character. And it's like almost like a Tracer Genji, where you need to be like really quick, really flanking, pretty mechanically skilled. You gotta know the combos. So yeah, like it's one of those, oh shit, these characters are more intricate than people are giving credit for. And I love that. I think that's a really good thing. A lot of them get compared to Overwatch characters, but in a lot of ways too, they don't actually feel like Overwatch characters. You can see certain parts of their kit, but it's like combining 3 or 4 different kits or different aspects to the point where it's like, nah, I don't even think you should even call it a, you know, like, oh, that character's Doomfist and Reinhardt, or for Venom is like more like Wrecking Ball. Venom is kind of like Wrecking Ball, right? But the reason why Venom's like Wrecking Ball is it because about your swing, and you have a pile drive, and you have shields. But then after that, it kind of ends, right? But Venom's probably one of the closest Overwatch-like heroes they got. So, is Model Rivals good? I think it's really good. Oh, also, the team-ups is really cool too. So if you don't know about the team-ups in Rivals, basically, you play one character with another character, you end up getting like extra bonuses, and so like, What's a good one? Luna Snow has a couple where, okay, so Jeff the Land Shark who just got added, if you play with Luna Snow, you give him an extra button to press. You give him like an extra ability. And what that ability does, it turns his damage, his right-click damage shot from like a water gun to a ice shot, and it can freeze people. And so those team-ups are actually super, super cool. And it gives another aspect of dynamicness to the game that the game encourages you to use. You're not required to use it, but you are encouraged to use it. So I like that. I think it's really cool. It also encourages teamwork. Magneto is probably the big, yeah, you're right. Magneto with a sword. Magneto gets a extra button on his kit with Scarlet Witch that gives him this energy sword, and you can literally two tap people across the map, like supports. You can just go boom, boom, and they just fall over. They're just dead. There's a lot of like the hero fantasy and a lot of hero dynamics in it, and I like that. But the game's got a long way to go. It's got a long way to go. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that I think that could be added. But I'm excited to see what new characters they add, where it goes from here. I don't think the game actually is set to release for a long time. So you gotta remember this is a beta. And even Overwatch 2's beta was, I would argue, just as rough as this game in certain areas, if not worse. So the game has a lot of potential. Do I think that I would switch to this game and play it full time? Probably not. Would I probably play it a lot? Probably. I don't know. It's too early. Way too early to tell on something like that. But hopefully you get your chance to get your hands on the game, get your own opinion. You'll get to try it out, see how it feels, and yeah, I just hope people get to actually play it, because that's probably the big thing, is people not being able to play the game, unfortunately. But hopefully that'll change. So we'll see. Anyways, game's good. Game has a lot of complexity, has a lot of dynamics, but it's also pretty good for new players. Like, it's not like that hard to get into, especially if you're an Overwatch player. Have you ever played Overwatch before? A lot of the systems are the same. Oh, actually, I do have two complaints. I do have two. One is there's this really stupid mechanic where if you get CC'd, slept, bashed, booped, whatever, you technically don't count as a person for a second. And so if you're on the cart and there's like, you're like in overtime and you're fighting hard to stay on point to not C9, if somebody stuns you on the point, you will C9. So like, we were playing a game against like Gale and Guru and what, and like their stack, which they kind of rolled us. They were insane. And I was touching cart and I was fighting to like, we were like literally fighting like neck and neck to win the game. And I was on point. And I got slept on the cart, and the cart just moved and they capped right there. And I'm like, huh? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, yeah, like I was fighting to stay on point, and like getting slept is fine, but the fact that it caps while you're slept is insane. And to take that one step further, the destructible environments are cool, but they cause some problems. And one of the biggest ones that I saw was I had a game where like their team was right here, right? Like their team's running to touch the point, and like it's like 97, 98, 99, like they're coming in to touch, and the roof that like it was like a little section of something like collapsed, and they got stuck on the collapsed environment for like 6 seconds, and they couldn't touch the point. Like they were trapped under the rubble, and that's it. And they just lost the game because of it. That was complete RNG. It had like, we didn't sit there like waiting on the side, like, okay, like when they walk up, we'll break the environment and then, you know, it'll get stuck. It was just complete RNG. Like the building fell to that side, and I don't know. I think maybe there's gonna be a better way to do it. So I think destructible environments is a cool idea, but probably needs some adjusting. But yeah, game's really good. Hopefully get a chance to play it. There's my thoughts on Marvel Rivals.